all right. It is showtime. It is showtime. It is showtime. It is showtime. Not at the Apollo, but here at this channel, since I do the spaceship theme, astronaut theme, you can say that we're taking off on an Apollo spaceship. And we'll see how that goes with this particular live stream. Well, actually, with rockets, they don't really take off, they blast off. So, with that said, hopefully, as you are all aboard here at this channel, make sure that you got your popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and soda as Deliberate does. This particular live stream was one that I've been definitely kind of pushing off, not because I wasn't ready for it, but because I have to be steady for it, if that makes sense. Because I really want to put this out there in the best way possible to the best of my ability. I see Aquarius up in the building. Good to see you as well. So let's try to go from here, just really more so explaining a lot about this live stream. So in the thumbnail, if you look in the thumbnail, you'll see that there's a tiger attacking someone. Well, little do people know that particular clip or thumbnail, if you want to call it that, was footage from somewhere in India where there was a guy on top of an Asian elephant. Yes, that tiger leaped up to the top of an Asian elephant just to attack someone. Yes, and that wasn't even a tiger that you see on that thumbnail that I used for this live stream. That was a tigeress. Yes, that was a female tiger that leaped up to the top of that full grown Asian elephant just to attack that person out of India. Now, I say attack, but the tigress didn't really attack. The tigress was defending herself. What happened was those Hindus that you saw in that thumbnail, it was actually footage based on a real life scenario. There was Hindus in that area of the forest or the jungle, if you will, and they were constantly pursuing or harassing or taunting that tigress. I don't know if that tigress had I don't know if that tigress had a cub with her or not, but nevertheless, they were taunting her a lot. They were taunting her a lot. So after a while, she just got fed up and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of you all harassing me. And she literally just decided to lash out and attack the closest person that was on top of one of those big Asian elephants. And I think they were able to mortally wound her or injure her. She did eventually pass away. I think she got stabbed as she was leaping up to one of the guys. Because I think in that picture, that thumbnail that was used for the live stream, I mean that was used for this live stream. In that thumbnail, I think uh, if one noticed, there was something that one of the Hindu guys was holding in his hand. I think it was a sharp stake in his hand, or he had a gun in the other. But nevertheless, they mortally wounded her, and she ended up passing away after the attack. But yeah, they didn't even see her coming. She was so well hidden in the grass that when she jumped up, that's when they actually noticed her. Okay. That's when they actually noticed her, was when she leaped up. So when she leaped up and they noticed her, they were almost thinking to themselves, like, whoa. So with that said, usually the statement goes with tigers, by the time you see the tiger, it's too late. Yes. So just going over a few things about tigers. See, um, the way of the tiger is as such. Like usually, lions are associated with Africa, and tigers are associated with Asia. Now, there are actually lions in Asia too. There aren't lions in Africa. I believe there used to be lions in Africa. Hold on, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I apologize, y'all. So people when they people when they associate lions, yes, lions are in Africa, but usually when you associate yourself with tigers, that's because tigers are in Asia. So yeah, lions in Africa, tigers in Asia. There are actually lions in Asia, but you do not see tigers in Africa. I believe there used to be tigers in Africa, but one has to check me on that. Not sure. We'll have to find out. So, um, this idea of what tigerism represents, though, even with what one has seen in the thumbnail that I showed, usually, really, tigerism is not really a defined world, but it's a mindset. Tigerism. So, because tigers, they embody this idea of being wise, strong, but mainly the wise part. A lot of people in the Asian culture, they associate tigers with a lot of legendary warriors, which are known for their power and strength, but wisdom. See, tigers are known for being really stealthy. Okay. See, even in fighter jets, before they started making stealth fighters, the stealthiest of fighters in those fighter jets used to have a flying tiger put on their plane, on their jet fighting plane, if you will, their fighter jet, if you will. They used to have flying tigers on there. And that was just due to how stealthy they were in the air, long before stealth fighters showed up. So you see these jets with these fangs, those are not flying sharks. Those are those was actually part of a regiment of fighter jets, and they would call these guys the flying tigers because they were known for their way they pounced and attack on the opposition in the air. Long before stealth fighters showed up. Okay, got someone new in the chat. This person is Salim Muhammad. I hope I said your name correctly. I apologize if I didn't. You said how can this message be used for everyday life lessons? I'm glad you asked that. I'm getting right to it. Stick around. I got something good for you. That's an excellent question because a lot of what I'm going to share with you in regards to my answer to your question really has helped me to get this live stream together in the first place because I didn't even realize. Here's a funny thing because when I call myself looking online for definitions on tigerism, I couldn't really find any definitions. But ironically, I scrolled down and I noticed, oh, there's a live stream by someone named Rayology XM, and they're talking about tigerism. And this was long before I ever did a live stream on the subject matter, but because I had it predated and I hadn't quite done the live stream yet, Google still had it posted. So I feel such an honor to even be doing this type of live stream for the masses. So I'm hoping this can bring more awareness to people around the world, especially to those from parts of the world where you do see tigers all the time and not just in the zoos. You see them in the wild. You see them literally in your backyard. Now, I hope you would not have to see a tiger in your backyard. So, my heart goes out to people who have had certain experiences, and yeah. So, tigers are nothing to be playing with, y'all. Real talk. Like they talk about this real king of the jungle, and they always say it's the lions, but lions don't even live in the jungle. Tigers do. Jaguars also live in the jungle too, but jaguars would not be king of the jungle. Jaguars would not be king of the jungle in regards to size and density. Jaguars are the princes of the jungle. Tigers will still be king of the jungle, and that's king even over the lions, because even though a lion may be a little taller than a tiger, maybe a little longer than a tiger, most of them, with the exception of the Siberian tiger, lions are not more dense than tigers as far as muscle mass. They don't have the same bone structure. They don't even have the same muscle structures. Yes, lions don't even have the same muscle structure as tigers. Okay. So, but I'm not going to go into details of the anatomy of lions and tigers for this live stream. I won't do that. Maybe that's for another time. Maybe people can even comment in the comment section. Yeah, you could comment in the comment section below for those listening to this on the replay. So we're going to continue on and talk more on this tigerism, because I want to give everyone my idea of what tigerism is about. So I'll say this, I'll get right to the point on some things. Okay. So let's go no further than Mike Tyson. Let's talk about Mike Tyson, because if one doesn't know, and of course we could be like Mike Tyson, when he wants you to really hear him out and he says, listen, see Mike Tyson, when he really wants you to hear him, he says, listen, but he'd be like, listen, listen, listen. When Mike Tyson says, listen, listen, you better listen to Mike Tyson. You already know how he can knock you out still at this age that he's at. He's in his upper 50s and he still can give you an uppercut. So when he tells you to listen, you better listen. So what does Mike Tyson have to do with this Tigerism live stream? Well, because Mike Tyson is one of the only few people in the world to have successfully had a tiger as a pet. Yes, I said Mike Tyson is one of the only few people in this world who have successfully had tigers as a pet. And I said successfully because what do I mean by successfully have a tiger as a pet? See, Mike Tyson wasn't one of those type of pet owners of a tiger that kept his tigers in the cage. No. And this is not Mike Tyson having tiger cubs. He had full grown tigers. He let those cubs grow up to be full grown. And he did not keep them in cages. Okay? Not many people can have a tiger outside their cage and roam amongst them. Because of the nature of a tiger, tigers are very vindictive in their nature. They're very calculative. They think about the whole environment around them. They're very thoughtful and they're very exclusive. And they're very cautious about their space. And if they don't want you in their space, they will let you know. They going they're going to make sure that you're not in their space. That's like part of the mindset of a tiger. So tigerism, tigerism, if I can define it sort of the definition to you all, what it could mean. A lot of it is simply um, the way you process your individuality. That's one way we can define the definition of tigerism for this live stream, is the way you process your individuality. This individuality is important because lions don't think this way. Lions live in a pride. Tigers live by themselves. They are solitary. But more so important with a tiger, they really think about their individuality. So yes, we can even use that as a definition as of now, as far as what is the definition of tigerism here at this channel. I would simply say it's the way you process your individuality, because that's what a tiger does all the time. That's the way of the tiger. It's very individualistic in the way that it lives and the way that it carries itself. So if it does not want you in the space, it will make sure that you're not in the space, whether it sees you as prey or as somebody that it accepts around its way. It will know. You will know probably before you even know, because a tiger will see you from many miles away. And by the time you get too close, they're either going to want you there or they're going to want you gone. That's the mindset of a tiger. Okay. And so keep in mind, once again, as I said earlier, Mike Tyson is one of the few people in this world to have successfully had a tiger as a pet. So this means not even having a tiger in a cage. He let it roam free around him, even as a full grown tiger. And This is what Mike Tyson said about that tiger. He said, well, tigers are different because lions, they're like dogs. Lions like to be around people all the time. And, if you grow up amongst, if the lion grows up amongst the people, you pretty much guarantee that he'll accept everybody around him because lions think about the group. Lions are part of a pride, or some can say pack mentality, but with lions being part of a pride, just say pride instead of pack, since they're not wolves, they're lions. But still that group nature thinking, not just necessarily individuality. Like the lion tries to find ways to fit in with the group, be accepted by the group, but tigers don't think that way. As Mike Tyson would point out, Mike Tyson said that tigers are basically more individualistic, more about you and only you around them. Tigers don't want basically the whole family around them. Like tigers only want you and only you around them. Like, so I guess to try to make this short, sweet, and to the point, what Mike Tyson was saying about his relationship with his pet tigers, he was saying, um, lions are like dogs and they want the group and they want the family around them. But tigers, they don't want the family around them. They only want the owner around them. They only want their owner around them. They don't want nobody else around them. It's just you and the owner. They're very exclusive like that. Tigers don't want a lot of people in their space. Tigers don't want a lot of people around them or nothing. And so Mike Tyson knew that. So he knew he had to be bonded and connected with that tiger, and nobody else could. And that tiger didn't want nobody else to be connected with him like that. So gives you another idea of what the mindset of a tiger is about. Once again, based on what I'm starting to put together as far as my definition of tigerism, it's the way that you process your individuality. Okay. You said deliberate. You said, I know righteous, this is true. Uh yeah, this is yeah. I get exactly what you're saying. You said bingo Aquarius. Tigers are individualistic and lions are collective. That's very true. That's very true. So we'll continue on here, talk more about what I have to say about tigerism. So there's a tiger quote. A quote out there about tigers is, a tiger does not fight his prey. He eats his prey. He doesn't fight his prey. See, lions are more prone to fight. Now they do go and get prey, just like tigers do too. But even though lions are more prone to do it as a group, it's rare that you see actually a lion hunt something by itself. Now lions can hunt food by themselves, but most of the time lions hunt as a group. Okay, so here's the catch. The thing is that tigers, they don't have time to fight. They want to not use that type of energy. So they do avoid confrontations, but when they do have to fight, it's to the death. It's to kill. So even if they're around each other, tigers are not trying to fight each other. They're trying to see who's going to go first. Tigers, because their mindset is really about predator prey driven. That's the mindset of a tiger. That is definitely the mindset of a tiger. See, to a tiger, it would view fighting as the gray area. There's really no gray area with a tiger. It's either kill or be killed, like the mindset of a tiger. There's no gray area. So once again, uh, defining or processing your individuality. With a tiger, its individuality is on this idea that there is no gray area, not with the way it has to live its life. Okay. Um, but yeah, he doesn't fight its prey. He eats it. So a lot of times y'all might see lions and tigers in the same cage together, and you might think, oh, the lion and the tiger is fighting. But the tiger at that time, when it sees the lion fighting it, the tiger is not actually fighting back the lion, even though the lion is trying to fight the tiger. The tiger is actually just playing with the lion. Because when the tiger actually decides to get serious, that's at the moment it's ready to kill the lion. So a lot of lions are spared their lives when they call themselves trying to fight a tiger that's just in the mindset of playing with it. A lot of lions are spared, okay? So, because you get a full grown tiger versus a full grown lion, actually, a tiger is almost 5 times stronger than the lion. The lion has even a less bite force than a tiger. The tiger has even 5 times the bite force of a lion. And that's for all breeds of tigers, even up into the Siberian tiger, which has probably 10 times the bite force of the largest lion. And we're talking about the largest lion. Okay. So, a lot of times, like I said, when y'all be seeing these videos of lions and tigers going at it, the tiger's just playing with the lion that's fighting. But every time you see the tiger get serious with the lion gets almost mortally injured. Many times the tiger decides to kind of go from what 1 to 10, but it probably goes to number 5 instead of 10. Just that little bit of strength through his paw swipe can break the jaw of a lion anytime, many times actually. And a lot of times, the only time a lion can get away with trying to do something to a tiger is if the tiger is a little, is if it's when the tiger is a little younger than a lion, or if the lion has backup. Because sometimes I ain't gonna lie, like you see the lion getting beat up by the tiger or almost about to be killed by the tiger, then the lioness and the other pride members decide to step in to try to help that tiger not get to help that lion not get killed by that tiger. So I'm trying to make sure I don't mix up the actual big cat. So I apologize if I did, but I'm trying my best not to. Trying to really break this down to y'all because no one has really talked about tigerism out here. No one has around the world. No one has really talked about it, but it has been a way of life for a lot of people in certain parts of the world who are around tigers. There was just never a word for it. I'm pretty sure in one's language, depending on where you're from around the world, you have a terminology and you have a way of explaining it. But it's just not the word tigerism. But you can definitely say that, hey, that actually does make sense that the word tigerism would be used for what I would describe for our way of life, our mentality in this part of the world. You said let's see this. You said Aquarius. That's how most people operate in relationships and marriages now. They have an individualistic tiger mentality and not a collective lion mentality. Oh yeah. We could definitely expound upon that based on what you just said here. You said so tigerism isn't good for relationships and marriages. Lionism is good for successful relationships and marriages. Yeah, it can be. It can be. There is some good to tigerism, just from the standpoint of lionism, it sort of has its flaws in regards to who should be part of the group. And this is on the lion's part and the lioness's part. But a lot of times amongst tigerism, because there is this idea that there's more of a polyamorous situation going on with tigers in regards to their procreation. A lot of times the female tiger would mate with the male tiger that she feels most connected to, or she's had a more success rate of reproducing cubs with. So, so I think to a certain extent we could put an asterisk on the relationship part with the tigers because, hey, if you ask me, I think that that female tiger realized who she's who she thinks is the better father. Let's put it that way. Um, so that's the thing. You said also Aquarius, tigers aim to kill lions and lions aim to beat since they have different mentalities. Yeah, and so a tiger doesn't even think about competition. The lion does, but the tiger doesn't. No. The lion sees competition with the tiger. The tiger just sees a meal. And not really a meal it wants to eat, but if it has to, it will. That's how a tiger looks at a lion. Hmm Yeah, exactly. Deliberate. When a tiger decides, they go for the kill. Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, sometimes the tiger does play with this food. Like we see this oftentimes. Like many times. Sometimes lions do too. Sometimes lions do too. But with a tiger, it's even more calculative because it's by itself and it has to do it all by itself. See, really, with a lion, it can afford to play with its food, whereas with a tiger, it decides to play with its food if it feels like it. You know, so it's kind of interesting if we want to put both mentalities together. Once again, how one processes their individuality. Now, see, now it's definitely true that lions are more prone to fight than tigers, kind of based on what I said before. And, you know, tigers, I mean, and lions are more savage in regards to fighting to the death, to be honest. They're more savage than tigers in regards to fighting to the death. But tigers are still more superior in regards to ferocity, just given their mindset is not about fighting, but hunting and killing instead. So, um, even though, yes, a lion will put up a good fight to the death, more or less, the death will come at the hands of the tiger. The tiger is not really thinking about fighting to the death more so than it's just thinking about killing. That's kind of that. So, like I said, no gray area with a tiger at all. So, as a disclaimer, before I continue on with this live stream, this probably won't be a long live stream. I just kind of want to put out something to this world to kind of get people to think, kind of a think tank. But for the disclaimer, I won't be going off into the personality types or anything like that, because people talk about these different personality types out here. So this live stream has nothing to do with certain personalities. Like they talk about like the Sigma personality and stuff like that. Like this live stream is not about that. This live stream is just about a certain mentality beyond the personality type. So I'm just talking about the mentality of the tiger that some people around the world respect and revere. So tigers don't forget. They say elephants don't forget, tigers don't forget either. See, there's this story about this one Siberian tiger that never forgot about the hunter that tried to kill it. And so, even though the tiger did get mortally wounded, it did not die. It survived. And so, for years, and I mean for years, it tracked that hunter that almost killed it, knew about its whereabouts, knew the people that it went around and everything. That tiger knew that somehow humanly possible. Humanly possible. That tiger knew everything about the hunter that almost killed him. So that at the right time, the tiger showed up inside of the warm cabin that this hunter was going back to. See, the whole time though, the hunter knew in the back of his mind his day would come. Because everybody said, a tiger don't forget. A tiger don't forget nothing. So he knew his day was coming. He just didn't know when that day was coming. So I guess after so many years, he thought, okay, maybe I'll relax. He got tired of looking over his shoulders. But the minute he caught himself calming down, there was a big Siberian tiger waiting on him in his cold cabin. I mean, in his warm cabin, waiting on him patiently. And long story short, people came back to look for him, and all they found was bones. All they found was bones. And apparently, that same tiger went on a man eating spree, a man hunting spree, and a man eating spree. They eventually caught up with the tiger and were able to finally kill it because it was on its last leg of life anyway. But it was just at this point, this tiger was just waiting to finally be able to get off getting the hunter that tried to kill him, and then going out with a bang because he knew that everybody was going to try to look for him. See, tigers do not forget things. Okay, they don't. Yeah. Oh yeah, you already know, Tampa. You already know. So you said Aquarius. People want to be like tigers all the time, which is problematic because there's a time and a place to be a tiger, and there's a time and a place to be a lion. Yeah, I mean it's like a duality of the personality in the individuality. Uh, I say once again, like with the Tigerism, the definition is the way one processes their individuality. But one can say a true definition of lionism could be the way one processes their commonality. Okay, but that's just giving y'all something to think about. hmm Now, continuing on, think about this also about this element of tigerism, because basically, I just I just been talking about the lifestyle of a tiger, right? The ups and downs, the good and the bad. Not too heavy into the detail, but just enough so you could kind of know the ways of a tiger. But let's shift from talking about the lifestyle of the tiger. Let's talk about the life of the tiger. Hey, Mike. Yeah, I know you don't see yourself in blue right now. But when you get a chance, just email me when you get a chance. Rayologyxm@gmail.com. Just trying to go over a few things. Nothing against you at all. Much love to you. But email me when you get a chance. Rayologyxm@gmail.com. And that goes for anybody that's checking this out on the replay. If you happen to like what I talk about overall, and even this subject matter of tigerism, and you got some more questions, feel free to email me. So um, let's go here. You said Aquarius, the tiger that remembered the hunter that tried to kill him or her, kept the track record to find that guy. That's really deep. Yeah. Yeah, tigers do not forget things like that. They do not. Okay. Yeah, you got to think they're by themselves. So yeah, let's go forth and let's continue on with talking more about this other side. Like I said, I just been talking about the lifestyle of a tiger. But now let's talk about the life of the tiger. The life of the tiger is what one can consider a mythical life, because you hardly see tigers. And for most people, unfortunately, by the time they see a tiger, it's too late. So it's kind of best to try to stay away from where you think tigers may be, if you will, just to save yourself. See, um, people that underestimate tigers, like what I told y'all earlier in the live stream about the Hindu hunters that were harassing the tigeress. And, you know, she pretty much decided to get revenge because she got tired of being harassed. So that is to say, like, people sometimes take the mythical ways of a tiger for granted until it backfires, or until the until the tiger decides to jump back. Yeah. So in many ways, it's best to just leave tigers alone. So with certain individuals, that's the same way. Certain individuals, just leave them alone. Don't harass them. Just leave them alone, because they could come back like tigers on you. You know, just leave them alone. So that's the way that person processes their individuality. That's their individuality because they don't have commonality with anybody, especially people that are trying to harass them. Like tigers aren't put on this, or they're not put on this earth to be anybody's friend. Tigers are not put on this earth to be anybody's friend. Okay, that's just the way they are. And you leave them alone. That's their habitat, that's the world. Leave them alone. But so much of humanity has encroached upon their habitat. So this has led to more exploitation of tigers. Not really the exposure of tigers, but the exploitation. People always want to tap into the mythicalness of anything or anyone. Yeah, they always want to tap into the mythicalness of anything and anyone, and they want to exploit it, not necessarily expose it. They want to exploit it. So we see this all the time, even from zoos to circuses. We see how people have wanted to exploit the mythical ways of a tiger. And this is unfortunate because even the tiger knows when it's not in a good situation, when it's in a situation where it has to be put on display, where people are trying to make a mockery of its very essence in existence. however way it got caught. See, um, to exploit is to make a full use of and derive benefit from. See, the exploitation of what they call the tiger penis that they use in a lot of black market trades because they think somehow it gives them a remedy. It gives them a remedy or therapy or aphrodisiac, like this mythicalness of thinking that I guess if a man consumes a tiger's penis bone, that's going to make him have a strong penis or give him strength, give him this same way of the tiger. That's not the way it works. You actually probably would be stronger of a person like the tiger if you just left the tiger alone. And, you might even save your own life that way too, because maybe you might do something wrong and miscalculate how you were trying to trap that tiger. So keep that in mind too. So, but this whole mythical thing about tigers and the way that I think like certain people that are mythical, like people that you can't figure out, you try your best to figure out. You try your best to exploit them. You try your best to be around them to try to figure them out. You try to call yourself even trying to expose them, but more so exploit, not really expose, but exploit. See, a lot of what people think is exposing people is really just nothing more than exploiting them, if you will. Not exposing, but exploiting. Put them out on display for everybody to make fun of, and put them in a circus and ha 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 ha, oh oh oh, all that. And so that's what has been happening to tigers for many years. However, do we not know of cases of some tigers they're having enough of it. Some tigers just have enough of being part of a circus and they decide to attack the ringmaster of the circus, pretty much eat the ringmaster. We've seen many ringmasters mauled, mauled to death, if you will. Yes, a lot of these people that call themselves train these tigers to do all these circus tricks, we've seen them pretty much almost ripped in pieces. There's many stories of this. So, you know, some people just think it's cute to own a tiger. If you're not Mike Tyson or anybody similar to Mike Tyson, don't think about trying to own a pet tiger. They're not to be pets. Tigers are very different than the other big cats or just cats in general. Like, you can't even say your house cat is like a tiger. Tigers are very different. They do more than feed on your fear. See, they be saying that about certain dogs and certain animals. Don't be scared of them. Don't show them your fear. Well, a tiger is different. A tiger will create fear for you. See, you didn't know that. A tiger will actually create fear for you. They don't just feed on your fear, they will create fear for you. So keep that in mind about tigers, y'all. You said Aquarius. So basically, tigers are the enigma of the animal kingdom because they are a mystery due to being very exclusive in their lifestyle. Boom. Yes. And so sometimes their whole life of torment is based on people trying to find out more about their lifestyle, misunderstanding them. Some people even think that tigers are just striped version of lions. Kind of like some people think wolves are just wild versions of dogs. No, they're not relatable. They're not the same. They're not. Yeah. You said, wait, didn't Sigmund and Freud get attacked by their tiger they owned? Hey, that's a good question. I cannot even answer that question for you. But it wouldn't surprise me because a lot of people have been attacked by the tigers. Do not put tigers in apartments, by the way, people. Don't do that. Now, they need a lot of space. Now, the thing is, if you have like a place where there's like trees and because tigers, what's unique about tigers is similar to jaguars. They can climb and they can swim. You know, they can climb and they can swim. They need a lot of different things. If you're gonna have a tiger, you're gonna need to have a lot of space for that tiger. It's gonna need a place to swim and it's gonna need a place to climb. And it's gonna need a lot of space to stretch his legs. That's If you're gonna claim you're gonna have a tiger, you got to keep that in mind, and you got to be like Mike Tyson. You got to be exclusive with that tiger, and you cannot be scared of that tiger. You gotta put fear on that tiger. See, that's one thing Mike Tyson realized. You gotta put fear on that tiger, because otherwise that tiger would put fear on you. It's gonna create fear in you. And every time I seen Mike Tyson play with his tigers, they still behave like little kittens because of the fear that he put in those tigers. Because that's the only way he's gonna be able to deal with them. Like he realized that early on. I think now he's just old enough and he realized I'm too old to be doing this with tigers because he knows. He knows the consequences. Mike Tyson knew that. You said deliberate. Lions have entourages. Lions are all by themselves. They are the lone big cat. Facts. Nehemiah Israel, good to see you up in the building. Good to see you up in the building. Uh, Oh, you said my apologies. It's Siegfried and Ray in regards to the tiger attack. Yeah, yeah, those guys, the circus guys. Yeah, that. Yes, yes, yes. Um, so but keep in mind also like the way a tiger hunts. The tiger doesn't make too many mistakes, okay? But the only thing is once again, the way the tiger likes to create fear, you have to put the same fear back in it. And only one animal so far has been successful at putting fear back into a tiger. Now we're talking about in the wild. We're not talking about in the zoos and in these man-made environments. I'm talking about in the actual wild. There's only one animal that's been able to put fear back into the tiger. Because normally the tiger is the one putting fear and creating fear in a lot of animals. And no, that quote unquote animal is not human beings. Humans have not been successful in putting fear back into the tiger. It's been actually the total opposite. It's just making tigers more enraged. That's what people have done. I guess with you could say Mike Tyson. Well, the funny thing is Mike Tyson, he never saw himself as a human. He always felt more like an animal. Okay. And the only reason why he stopped fighting in boxing, if you will, was because he felt like he no longer had that animal drive in him no more. That's the only reason why Mike Tyson stopped boxing, y'all. So what I mean by all this together is that those tigers around him, they saw the animal side of him come out. And so automatically they saw that as fear in them. He put the fear in them by being the same animal that they were to him. Like they just they just let up. So but the actual animal that puts fear back in tigers, the only animal is called the sloth bear. If you look it up, it's called a sloth bear. It's one of those bears, like there's a lot of bears, and bears can be pretty ferocious. We know this. But they said the bear with the greatest temperament, with the worst temperament, is actually the sloth bear. They're hard to keep in captivity. They're hard to just be around. And that's just because they live with tigers. And so oftentimes this temperament gets passed down to every generation of sloth bear in order to protect themselves with tigers. So, because tigers hunt bears too, and they do hunt sloth bears, but a tiger is not always successful at killing and eating a sloth bear. Sometimes the tiger gets killed by the sloth bear itself. Sometimes the tiger gets mortally wounded by the sloth bear. So the tiger knows when it's going after a sloth bear, it's a big gamble. Now, the tiger is usually stronger than the sloth bear and can still do what it can to kill and eat a sloth bear, but there's a risk that the tiger will lose its life trying to go after a sloth bear because a sloth bear is not going to go out without a fight. Now, the sloth bear is going to bring a true fight to the tiger that a lion never could. Yeah, it definitely will. And it definitely has. It definitely has. You can look this up, many accounts. So people have a great respect for sloth bears for that reason because they're the only animals that can put fear back into the tiger, the same way that tigers like to put fear in everything else and everyone else, even if there's no reason to put fear there. So just wrapping this live stream up. Hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live stream made sense to, make sure that you hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. You said it's Aquarius. Got it. So Mike Tyson no longer had the animal ambition in him to fight like one. Bingo. If this is your first time checking out this channel and you like my content, definitely more in store, especially for those listening to this around the world where there might be tigers around your way. And I pray for everyone's safety in those parts of the world. Make sure that you subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content. If you go into my archives, which is a section called my playlist that consists of a lot of different content, whether uploads or live streams that I think that you will like, make sure that in the description section of this live stream, you check out the other platforms that I'm on. If you want to tip yours truly, that's also in the description section. And just know that it's only going to get better from here, no matter what it looks like out there. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you get all of my uploads and live streams in real time. You said, Mike, you emailed me. Okay, cool. I got you. I got you. I appreciate the email. Hey, you already know. You already know. Appreciate it, Nehemiah. Appreciate it. You said, deliberate. Tigers are never seen. They stay in the shadows and they are hidden. They are the hidden ones. They're always in the cut. When you see them, you know it's showtime, showdown. It is over. Yeah. Basically, when you see a tiger, it's over. It's already figured out. There's no, let me talk out of this. Please, please don't. No, it's hungry. He's hungry. Okay. The tiger's hungry. There's no getting out of it. When a tiger sees you, it's hungry. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Now you could be like the sloth bear and basically be like, nope, not today, and come back and let that tiger know this. No, I ain't the one. But there ain't no mercy. Not in that moment. So yeah, you got to be pretty much savage right back like the sloth bear. So, but usually with the tigerism mindset though. So I guess this also helps to understand how to deal with it when you are around someone that is trying to be like a tiger towards you. You just gotta just stay away from that environment where that tiger is in, or you're just gonna have to be savage like that sloth bear. Yeah, but I guess with that said, that's kind of like how you deal with narcissistic behavior too. If I want to kind of digress there, because some narcissistic people can be very they can be very predatory or they can be very um, parasitic. Most narcissists are very parasitic though, not as predatory, but some are. Some are. Okay. Some are. Some do have somewhat of a mindset of a tiger. Some do, you know, but more so just in defining how we can use this in everyday life, especially for the positive aspect and defining your individuality. You just have to know how to move out here and maneuver. Yes, like you said, deliberate. Yes, they are the true apex predators. We can even talk about saber tooth tiger, but that's for another day. Okay. But yeah, sometimes you have to kind of maneuver out in these places like tigers, especially when you know that as a hunter, you're being hunted by people that want to put you on the black market, if not for your tiger bones, if you will. They want your fur, they want your claws. Heck, they just want you as a trophy. People are just glad to hunt you down just to say that they were able to hunt you down. Okay. So it's like, okay, well, I'm used to being the biggest and the baddest out here, but Nothing can stop nothing can stop a bullet from getting at me if I'm out here in these jungles. If somebody really wanted to get me versus me knowing how to get them. So to be honest, I'd say the tiger probably has learned a few lessons from the sloth bear itself. Who knows? Yeah, that's true. Moving in silence deliberate. They do. And tigers are very good for that. They're very good for just when something or someone is standing there, you won't hear the tiger. It like really creeps very slowly, very cautiously, very patiently, like a lot of solitary big cats do. But to see a tiger do it at the size that it is, it's amazing. Even lions can't move as silent as tigers do. Why you think they need backup just in case one lion snuck upon the prey and then the prey got shook up and started running? Then the other lion is on its other side at its 2 o'clock. Then another lion is on that prey's 5 o'clock. That's how they deal with that. They back each other up when one messes up. A tiger can't do that. A tiger has to be the quietest, even though it's probably the largest predator, the largest thing there. It has to be the quietest. Yeah. You said Nehemiah, you said you thought this was going to segue into manospherism. Hey, I'm glad it never did. I wasn't even trying to go that way. I appreciate your insight on that though. Yeah, nah. I try my best not to do the whole manosphere thing. Not here. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's only going to get better from here, y'all. And hopefully y'all enjoyed this live stream. This was really one of those topics I really wanted to go more into. I just didn't know how I can do my best. But I think really one thing that came to mind to me about doing this live stream was, I guess, just like the tiger and just like the Liberated said, you just got to be majestic. Got to be majestic. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. Because that's really the only way to do this live stream. And especially with the respect and reverence towards the tiger itself. Yeah, it's best to just be in that form, just to move as it moves, just with its dignity. It's and I'm not saying that I'm doing that really like more or less like my live stream is coming off that way, but I really wanted to capture the essence of what makes the tiger do what it does, if you will. So with that said, y'all have a good one. Thanks a million for stopping by, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Much love.